Hi, in the last Affinity tutorial, I showed you how you could use Affinity Publisher to create a mockup template for your shop printables. So I'm going to kind of show you a few things today in Designer that make creating your mockups even a little bit more efficient. And the main thing that I like about doing this in Designer as opposed to Publisher is that you can use Artboards to create multiple mockups at the same time. And you can use a lot of copying and pasting to make this really efficient. And then you can export all of your mockups and even your Pinterest pins all at the same time. So let's take a look at some more things you can do with mockups using Affinity Designer today. So I'm going to go to File and New. And like last time, I'm going to create a 2000 pixel by 2000 pixel artboard because this is the size that I need for my Etsy shop. And I can always scale these smaller to, let's say, 600 pixels or so for my website and other promo graphics, but I'm going to start in 2000 pixels. I'm also going to click this little box, Create Artboard. I don't need any margins. I don't need any bleed, so we'll leave that alone. I just want to do Create Artboard. So now I have my artboard, and I'm going to zoom out just a little bit and then grab this and just move this over to the side. So now let's select this artboard, and over here in this artboard tool, I'm going to click that, and I want to insert another artboard the same size as my initial document. And I'm just going to click that twice. So now I have 3 artboards, but let's click this one. So Move Tool, select artboard number 3, and then let's change this to a Pinterest pin, which will be 1000 pixels wide and 1500 pixels high. So now we've got a Pinterest pin as well. We can also go into our layers here and we can rename these. So we can call this pin. We can double click on this one and we'll call this maybe, I don't know, secondary. Doesn't want to let me rename that one. Well, it would be my main one. So let's move on. It's not letting me rename it for some reason. So let's go ahead and create a background here. So I'm going to grab the rectangle tool and we want to deselect the artboard, but we do want to have it highlighted in the layers here. And now I can create my shape the same size as my artboard. And from here, I'm going to just take the stroke off. And then right now it's got a gray fill, so I can choose a color just like we did in the previous video. Or what I can do is I can fill this with an image. So a lot of times mockups have some sort of background image. So let's select this rectangle and go over here to the fill tool. Context will be fill, type will be bitmap, and then I've already downloaded a wooden background from Pixabay. And we can just kind of adjust what we want that to look like. Maybe something like that. And now I can take that and I can copy, click on this artboard and paste, click on this pin and paste. And I'll just get this out of the way. And then I'll just grab this and just scale it down a little bit. So now I've got 3 backgrounds for my primary mockup, my secondary image, and my pins. So let's have a little bit more fun with this. So I'm going to go to the layer effects here, and I'm just going to do a color overlay. So I'm going to check that box, make sure that it is the one you have selected, and then you'll have some effects over here. Let's move this into the frame. So let's pick a color. Let's stick with pink. Maybe something like that. And then I'm going to take the opacity down, and now we have kind of a pink background instead of this kind of dull gray. All right, we can close that up. The next thing I'm going to do is go Edit, Copy, click on this next one, Edit, and only paste the effects. And then this one, Edit, Paste Effects. So now all 3 of them are the same. They have the exact same color overlay. So now we can create some of our graphics. So we can just kind of add my shop name, com, and we'll just move that, scale it a little bit, copy and paste, move that over here, actually undo the paste part, and click this and paste. And what that did is the first time I pasted it, it pasted it on Artboard 1, even though I moved it over. When I select this next artboard, it pasted it in the proper artboard in my layers. So now I can click the pin, Control V again to paste another copy. Move this down here, wherever I want to put it. It's probably a little big for a Pinterest pin, but there we go. Okay, so now I've got that all set up. We can go ahead and grab a rectangle and we'll just put this up here. And let's just change this to a solid color. So I'm going to go over to my colors over here and pick a color. How about that? And then I can use the Move tool, select this, copy, click this and paste, click this and paste, and we'll just scale this one down. Now I can grab a text box, and I think we're calling this Balanced Life Printables. I'm using Artistic Text Tool so I can just scale this easily. And then I will select over all of it and we'll change font, adjust that a little bit. And now I can grab this, copy it, click paste, and I'll just center that a little bit. There we go. All right, now the last thing we need is our mockup images. So I'm going to go to File and Place, and we'll find the images. And I'm just clicking 4 times. Now this is a little bit different than Publisher. We don't have that frame option. So I'm just placing them all and then scaling them down so that they're at least within the frame. Now we can zoom in a little bit and just make sure that they're all the proper size. And I'm going to line up the top, scale in from the corner so that they all end up being the same size. And I'm just kind of looking at the bottom to make sure that the bottom lines up. So lining it up to the top, grabbing a corner, and just pulling in. And let's go ahead and make these two kind of in the middle. And I think we actually want all of these to be a little smaller. So let's grab all of them and just shrink them all down a little bit. And then I want this one to come out this way, this over here. And I'm going to click all 4 of them again. Go up to my alignment tools and just space them horizontally. Now I'm going to take the outer ones and we'll just drag those 2 down a little bit. And with my transform, I can take this one, -15. And I'm going through this fairly fast in this section because I already showed a lot of this in my previous video. So we'll select the 2 outer ones, align them to the bottom, and then we just make sure that these ones are brought to the front. You can select all 4 of these again. And maybe we want to just give this a slight tilt and that a slight tilt as well. And I'm just going to move these out a little bit as well. A little more space. Okay, so now we've got our images here. Let's grab all 4, copy, click on this, and paste. And so let's pretend maybe these are digital papers, and I'm going to take these 2 parts and just move them down into the middle, and then we'll take these. Just maybe do something like that. So you often see this in Etsy mockups where you have several digital papers where you'll just align them like this. So because these are printables though, we'll just kind of do something like this so that you can see a little bit better image of what you get with this pack. That out of the way. Okay. So now we've got that. And let's grab these 4 again, copy, click on our pin, and paste. And then while they're all still selected, we'll just scale this down and pop them in there. All right, so the thing is, once you have all of this set up and you're nice and branded, then you can just reuse this. So I would save this. And let's go ahead and do that. We'll save. And we'll do, this is a mockup demo. And I'll just save it. And then each time I have a new pack, I can just open this file, make a copy, and then edit the copy. And then I don't have to go through all this creation again. All I have to do is swap out my images, swap out my title, and you're ready to export again. So the final thing I want to show you that is an advantage of using Designer for this is we can go over to Export Persona, and it's automatically created slices out of these 3 artboards already. And if we expand these, we can see it's exporting as a PNG. If we wanted something different, we could switch this to being like a JPEG. We can go into this one, just switch it to a JPEG. And this is another thing you just have to do once, and if you save it, it'll save it this way. It's going to pick up the file name from whatever your artboard is labeled. Okay, so now that we've got our slices created, all we have to do is make sure that the ones that we want are all selected, export the slices, we'll save those to the downloads as well. And then let's go over into my file folder. And here they all are. So this is one of those things that you can set up once and then save it, make a copy, and just keep editing it over and over again. So I hope that's a helpful little shortcut for you. Thanks for watching.